District Attorney Sandra, Doorley, Sheriff Todd, Baxter. My name is Chris Chichester. I have never committed a crime. Certification that I have never committed a crime is your prosecutor, Sandra Doorley, did not utter one syllable in Penfield Town Court, first before John P. Lomenzo Jr. and next before Paul C. Metzler. How am I delivered to jail when your prosecutor doesn't utter one word, one sound, one syllable? How is that explained to the United States Department of Justice? District Attorney Sandra Doorley, what's the name of your prosecutor who doesn't talk first before John P. Lomenzo Jr. and next before Paul C. Metzler? And you continue to refuse to provide me with these two names, despite the fact that it's a public proceeding where my civil and constitutional rights were abridged by fanaticism and hatred incorporated. And you, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, and you, Sheriff Todd Baxter, are hatred incorporated. This is the Freedom of Information Law. You refuse to comply with every single document on here, including the list of salaries for every public employee at the Sheriff's Office and District Attorney's Office. Your entire nauseating, repulsive, disgusting existence is tax dollars. I have the payroll for the District Attorney's Office and Sheriff's Office that's 12 plus months old. I want to take the documents that I have, acquire the new payroll, look at the names that are the same, and see if there are raises. Then I'm going to go right to YouTube and put the raises of your public employees on YouTube. And this is called disclosure. I am your disclosure. I am your accountability. And I have never committed a crime. Bald-headed, wig-wearing Paul Metzler, pay attention. I will never go into Penfield Town Court. If I'm in Penfield Town Court, Paul Metzler, I will be screaming at you in the most ferocious way. If I'm not in front of you, bald-headed, wig-wearing Paul C. Metzler, I'm in front of you, James Finelli Jr., the violence protection racket for Jermaine Bettman, and I'll scream at you. It's going to be the scream of innocence. I'm not going to observe any type of protocol. I'm not going to do what is expected, which is why I'm on YouTube. I'm not doing anything that's expected. I'm unconventional. And I'm demanding information from you. I'm demanding information from you that no one has demanded. That's why I'm unconventional. Freedom of Information Law, the internal disciplinary record documentation for employees of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office of Sheriff Todd K. Baxter, that Sheriff Todd K. Baxter is reprimanded, terminated, or disciplined in employment at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. What's the disciplinary process? Sheriff Todd Baxter in the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines, there is a disciplinary process for members of the military that either commit crimes or break the code in the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Is there an equivalent disciplinary process to Monroe County Sheriff's Office? And I'm confident none exists, that you don't discipline your employees. And to the extent that you have to discipline your employees, it's a case-by-case basis. And it's probably some pathetic sit-down where you or someone else at the sheriff's office essentially tells this person that's screwing up on a daily basis just to do a better job. It's nearly impossible to be fired from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Isn't that right, Sheriff Todd Baxter? Because of the blue wall of silence. Because of the blue wall of Todd Baxter, that's the blue wall of silence. It's different for your suit-wearing desk jockeys, District Attorney Sandra Doorley. Because when you're a suit-wearing desk jockey and you're corrupt and unethical, it's a different type of corrupt and unethical than when you're wearing a uniform and you're out on the street, when you're in public. You could be in public as a Monroe County Sheriff Office employee like me, and right there in broad daylight, you're going to violate someone's civil and constitutional rights, like with Andrew Allen, Shannon Meyer, and Don Benedetto. All three of these hacks, and fire each one of them immediately, Todd Baxter, have done to me. That was in public. You're there at your little district attorney's office that's the size of a Dairy Queen, and you're at a desk, and you're abridging civil and constitutional rights. How do you discipline your public employees? How do you discipline your suit-wearing desk jockeys? Sandra Doorley. Do your internal disciplinary records or documentation for employees at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, that District Attorney Sandra Doorley is disciplined, terminated, or reprimanded in employment at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office? Freedom of Information Law. The names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office of Sheriff Todd K. Baxter. What's not to understand about that language, you bald-headed stooge? How many times do I have to demand this? I had to demand it 50 plus times before I got the payroll, the first and only time. Now I'm demanding it again so I can put the raises on there. I especially want to see if your $100,000 cops received a raise. Did you, Corey Brown, receive a raise? Making $1,000 less than Todd Baxter, $132,500. Did you $131,000 Corey Brown receive a raise? And are you making more money than Todd Baxter? You're the one I'm most interested in, Corey Brown. Because if you have received a raise, then that's going to take you over what Todd Baxter is paid in taxpayer dollars. And how's that going to go over? If that's the case, I don't know. Hypothetically, if you, Corey Brown, are paid more money than Sheriff Todd Baxter, I'm trying not to laugh. And I'm thinking about that in anticipation because I hope that's the case. Because you, Corey Brown, if you haven't received a raise in 18 months or 24 months, then the greed of the heart's going to take over. And you, Corey, are going to be thinking, I deserve more money for all this hard work I'm putting in, my dedication, my effort. You live in a delusional 1984 if that's what you're thinking. But if that's what you're thinking, you're going to want more money. And when you want more money, Corey Brown, that's going to take you over the salary paid. Todd Baxter, please give Corey Brown a raise. In fact, the minute you watch this, if you watch this, or anybody there at the sheriff's office, I know you watch because you're coming here, give Corey Brown a raise immediately. Do that for me, please. The names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office of District Attorney Sandra Doorley. $203,000 you're paid. You pathetic party switching diva. And for $203,000, you're going to refuse to comply with every single one of these. I've been demanding this information for 12 plus months. Some of them I've been demanding for 18 plus months. And you refused every time, you pathetic diva. The law's a joke to you. And when you demand information in cases, you better acquire the information. And the hypocrisy from you is nauseating. Cost of overtime, time and a half, well paid beyond a base salary is calculated at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office of Todd K. Baxter. What's not to understand, you bald-headed stooge? Your employees work a 41st hour. Do you pay your public employees a different salary, wage, rate, different amount of money, however it's done, however it's factored, however it's calculated? How's that done? Do you have a list of your top 10, top 20, top 50 public employees earning overtime? Hypothetically, you have someone making $50,000 even. Does that person make $100,000 or more with overtime, time and a half, hour paid beyond a base salary is calculated? What's the answer to that? Because you do have individuals making exactly $50,000 and change, $50,500. Can that person double a salary to $100,000 with overtime? And what's the answer from you, you bald-headed stooge? The cost of overtime, time and a half, while paid beyond a base salary is calculated at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, District Attorney Sandra Doorley. When your suit-wearing desk jockey achieves that 41st hour of glory in putting the screws to innocent citizens like me, how do you pay that suit-wearing desk jockey? How is that done, Perry Duckles? Oftentimes in a bureaucracy, the person at the head of the bureaucracy, the boss, knows nothing. It's just a figurehead, a total and complete know-nothing. And the number two is the person responsible for the leadership and the administration. I believe that's you, Perry Duckles. I believe that's what happens at the district attorney's office because your boss is such a buffoon, stooge, and incompetent. That's why I believe that you run everything. Every single employee at the district attorney's office knows to go to you, Perry Duckles. And the queen is there with their $203,000 just being the queen. Freedom of Information Law. The cost of taxpayers of Monroe County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter suspended taxpayer outset employment-related discrimination lawsuits fair to apply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Terry S. Cook, $46,605. Are you Terry S. Cook being sexually harassed at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd Baxter? I hope you're not. Carolyn C. DeRuzzi, $85,095. Are you Carolyn C. DeRuzzi being sexually harassed at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office of Sheriff Todd Baxter? I hope you're not. Now, I read two of them this time because of the disparity. Because you, Terry S. Cook, of $46,605, and you, Carolyn C. DeRuzzi, $85,095. So Carolyn C. DeRuzzi is paid $39,000 more than you. You, Terry, are more vulnerable to a male predator in the power structure of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office than Carolyn C. DeRuzzi. That's just the way it is because of that disparity in pay. She makes almost $40,000 more than you. So, how would you describe Terry and Caroline, the environment at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? If you were to be asked, Terry and Caroline, do the male Monroe County Sheriff's Office employees act like animals? What would your answer be? Do the male Monroe County Sheriff's Office employees use vile, vulgar, profane language? Do the male Monroe County Sheriff's Office employees place their hands on you? Are the male Monroe County Sheriff's Office employees constantly contacting you and asking you out on a date to do something after work at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? Sexual harassment is many different things. Are you Caroline and Terry being sexually harassed at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? Or do you know of a female employee that's being sexually harassed at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? Because female employees will confide in each other. They will have conversations they wouldn't necessarily have with the male employees, and that's human nature. Because especially in a situation like this with the workplace and male predatory behavior, I believe a female will only be comfortable talking about it with another female. And in all likelihood, a family member or a friend that's outside of the sheriff's office. But since this is an experience in the sheriff's office, hypothetically, then females will talk to each other. You having the same experience with me? Or if they know this one guy, if they both know this guy, perhaps they have the same experience with this guy. A male sexual predator in the workplace, I believe, has more than one that he's targeting. He doesn't turn everybody into a victim, but he's thinking about more than one. And then he has that one victim. And then perhaps if he has two victims, he's doing the same thing to two victims. Are you two victims? I don't know. What's going on in your Monroe County Sheriff's Office? Because I believe that the Monroe County Sheriff's Office embraces male predatory behavior. Freedom of Information Law. The cost of taxpayers of Monroe County District Attorney Sandra Doorley expended taxpayer to also employment-related discrimination lawsuits fair to apply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Emily Gallagher, $40,726. Are you Emily Gallagher being sexually harassed at the District Attorney's Office of Sandra Doorley? I hope you're not. On the payroll of the Monroe County District Attorney's Office is Rachel Clark, $93,507. Are you Rachel Clark being sexually harassed at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, Sandra Doorley? So here we have the difference between Emily Gallagher, $40,726, Rachel Clark at $93,507. So that's a $53,000 difference. And perhaps that's a difference in the way you, Emily Gallagher, are treated at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, and someone making $50,000 more than you. So what's the answer at the District Attorney's Office? Rachel Clark, $93,507. Rachel, since you approached $100,000, how would you describe Rachel Clark, $93,507? To repeat that, at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. Do you have respect for your boss, Sandra Doorley? Do you have respect for your male colleagues such as Perry Duckles? Do you have respect for your male colleagues such as William Gargan at $113,000 and David Dice at $103,000? Do William Gargan and David Dice comport themselves with the highest ethical and moral standards at the office? What's the answer? Lie to me, Todd Baxter. Lie to me with silence. Lie to me with silence at the freak show that is your Monroe County Sheriff's Office. The cost of a sound device purchased with taxpayer dollars by Monroe County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter and fixed to a building at 2025 Penfield Road to monitor Christopher Child Shifts 26 Sanders Farm Drive. Walks through the parking lot next to the building. This should never happen in the United States of America to an innocent man. I'm walking through the parking lot for the 4,000th time. Am I New York's 4,000th time criminal, you bald-headed stooge, Todd Baxter, who doesn't know if he's a Republican or Democrat? And one day, Nayraj shows up here, 50-year-old man living with a 7-year-old mother, and he starts to scream like a psychopath at me. I don't know what that is. I turn around, I ask him, what's the problem? He's still screaming. Well, he doesn't tell Shannon Meyer. He's screaming at me. I give him the official finger of Brooklyn, New York. I tell him to fuck off, and I walk away because there are people walking through this parking lot all day long, every day, and this psychopath is only running off to you psychopaths at the sheriff's office. Where's my 14th Amendment right to equal protection of laws, Todd Baxter? You, Todd Baxter, need to read the United States Constitution for the first time. And then when you read it for the first time, you could give it to party-switching diva Sandra Doorley, and you can read it for the first time, party-switching diva Sandra Doorley. I'm waiting for you psychopaths to get here, screaming my name outside, banging on the door. You were screaming my name with such fanaticism and hatred there. At Hatred Incorporated, that is the Monroe County District Attorney's Office and Monroe County Sheriff's Office, you were screaming my name, Todd Baxter, with such fanaticism that my neighbors across the street heard it and came over and talked to me. You were pounding on the door with such ferocity that the walls were shaking. And the individuals in the residence attached to me talked to me about it. Do you think my neighbors across the street are going to vote for you? Do you think my neighbors that are attached to me are going to vote for you? Do you know what the answer to that is? Do I even have to say it? What's that, Todd Baxter? That's it right there. You bought this camera, also called a surveillance device, after this psychopath Nayraj Shah came to your office about me walking through a parking lot. And you don't tell this guy he's a psychopath. Because you're a psychopath. And your employees are psychopaths. Because they don't know what constitutes a crime. How's it a crime for me to walk outside, stand right here, say nobody owns that land, and walk back in my residence? A psychopath sheriff unleashes his 6 psychopaths to the home of an innocent citizen when that's not a crime. Does your bald head of fanaticism know for me to walk outside, stand right here, say nobody owns the land, and walk in my house, that's not a crime? That's your surveillance device, you bald-headed criminal. How much did you pay for it? You will refuse. I'm going to send you a document from me to you. I'm going to write it. And it's going to have a signature mark for you to sign. I'm going to write everything. All you have to do is tell me how much you paid for it. The language will be, to Sheriff Todd K. Baxter with the address, and it'll be 1 or 2 or 3 sentences, and it will say, you will fix the surveillance device to 2025 Penfield Road to monitor if Christopher Chichester, 26 Sanders Farm Drive, walks through the parking lot next to the building. How much did you pay for it in taxpayer dollars? That's it. It'll be 2 sentences, 3 sentences. And then you tell me how much you paid for it. And you will refuse. That's going to be your bankrupt confession that you put this thing on his bill, even though I've now seen the images because my public defender showed it to me. So tell me how much you paid for it, you bald-headed stooge and criminal. Welcome to your re-election defeat. When the people of Monroe County learn, when I unleash myself on the people of Monroe County with all this information, they're going to be enraged about this. This picture here, and with Ryan Fisher in Atlanta, Georgia. The cost of taxpayers for photography session approved by Monroe County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter to photograph 10 public employees underwater in a pool. How much did you pay for this? I'm told it was a training exercise. These are your 10 employees underwater in a pool. That means they went to this pool. I swim at the pool at the YMCA, and that's a large pool. Was it at the pool in the YMCA? If it's not, where was it? Where did you take this picture? Training exercise, taxpayer dollars, this is it. That means your employees got in their wetsuits. Was this on the time of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? They all jumped into the pool, swam around. They're swimming around with each other. And then they posed themselves here with the individuals standing. You got the individuals standing, you got the individuals kneeling, swimming around, posing themselves with the American flag in the background. This is such a joke, a disgrace. How much did you pay to take this picture? Sheriff Todd Baxter, whose entire repulsive existence is tax dollars. Speaking of repulsive existence, out-of-state travel enrages taxpayers. Because taxpayers, the people that elect you, Todd Baxter, know that employees at his sheriff's office, which is in Monroe County, belong in Monroe County. And when every citizen in Monroe County learns that your employee, Ryan Fisher, is not in Monroe County, not even in New York, but he's 1,000+ miles away, they are going to be enraged at your bald head. Freedom of information on the cost of a hotel and plane ticket for Monroe County Sheriff's Office employee Ryan Fisher attended the Super Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia on February 3rd, 2019 with his canine dog, Lola. Here he is right here. Rambo Ryan Fisher with his ferocious look on his face. Was this for a conference? Sheriff Todd Baxter. Were you Ryan Fisher in Atlanta, Georgia for a conference? Were you cops, you pathetic Jonestown jokes, sit around and whine about how tough the job is and demand approval? You're not saying I demand approval, but the language you're using in communicating, and you do this, Todd Baxter, is you demanding approval. I'm not aware of any profession in the United States of America that constantly, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, demands approval. And that's exactly what you do at the sheriff's office. Demanding approval. What is he doing here? And his dog, again, has the badge. You're buying a badge for the dog. You spent taxpayer dollars for that badge for his dog. To be in Georgia. That's the redneck flag of Georgia right there. Wisdom, justice, and moderation. This is the sickening existence of this flag. This is the symbol of segregation in the South. This is a hate symbol that civil rights workers would look at as they were in the process of trying to desegregate the South and win passage of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. And it says here, wisdom, justice, moderation. There's no wisdom and justice and moderation about this fucking joke of a flag. This hate symbol. This is a hate symbol. And until 2003, it was the flag of Georgia. And there's Ryan Fisher in Atlanta, Georgia, 1,000+ miles away from New York. How long did it take you, Ryan, to see this? because these rednecks love this thing. Looks nothing like the beautiful flag of New York right here. Scales of justice. She's wearing a blindfold. Is justice blind for me? Sheriff Todd Baxter? The answer is no. Is justice blind for me? District Attorney Sandra Doorley? The answer is no. Your employees are overweight, Todd Baxter? Tell your employees Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to show up at his designated location. They live in different parts. They don't have to be everybody there. You can have 5 different locations based on where they live. They can drive there. 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. 5 different locations, 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. Tell them to show up, push up, sit-ups, 2-mile run. It's over in an hour. That guarantees your employees are in a minimum of shape. Doesn't guarantee that they're in shape. It's a minimum. Tell your employees to strive to be in the best possible physical shape to protect themselves and preserve their lives. What are the physical training standards requirements of Monmouth County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Todd Baxter? The question answers itself. You have no physical training standards. The day and year Monroe County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter rehired Michael Radler after his 20-plus year career with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office ended. You're not paid 25 cents, Michael Radler. See that? That's a quarter. That's the equivalent of 25 pennies. You're not even paid 25 pennies at your Jonestown, Michael Radler. Do you know that? Michael Radler, do you know that at the Jonestown, Monroe County Sheriff's Office, you're paid $0 right there, because that's it right there. And then there's Corey Brown paying $131,485. So the difference between you at $0 and Corey Brown at $131,485. Corey Brown at $131,485 with overtime or time and a half or however paid beyond your $131,485 salary. Do you exceed the $132,599 salary paid to Sheriff Todd Baxter? What do you think the political ramifications are going to be for you, Sheriff Baxter, if Corey Brown is paid more money than you and paid $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 more than you? Hypothetically, I don't know. I'm demanding to know. Do you, Corey K. Brown, $131,485, make $131,485, or you paid more? And if you're paid more, you are paid more than Sheriff Todd Baxter. Freedom of information law. The name in charge of every inmate of Monroe County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter, Monroe County Jail from January 1, 2018 to February 22, 2021. Separate your inmates at your jail, you bald-headed stooge. You have the non-violent inmates walking around there with the violent inmates. I'm having breakfast, lunch, and dinner with a guy that's in there for murder. And I saw his picture in the Democrat and cried, oh, how do you allow that to happen? Do you know that the violent inmates have a propensity to attack anyone? And they will target someone they know is a non-violent inmate because they'll find out what the charge is. Give me a name. You pathetic diva, Sandra Doorley. You're refusing to even provide me a name of what happened to me in this nauseating Star Chamber Penfield Town Court inside the Penfield Public Library. I'm demanding 2 names, and you're refusing over and over and over. Say public proceeding where my rights were abridged by this 70-year-old child rapist protection racket for Daniel DeLaus III called John P. Lomenzo Jr. Does that name sound familiar at the District Attorney's Office, Daniel DeLaus III? It should. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester with John P. Lomenzo Jr. in Penfield Town Court. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? What do you fail to understand, you pathetic diva? Freedom of information law. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester with Paul C. Metzler in Penfield Town Court. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? Your 5'2" 3-piece suit boy walks from his podium, the bald-headed, wig-wearing Paul Metzler, gives her a piece of paper. I don't know what's on it. I'm declared guilty and I'm in Monroe County Jail. Todd Baxter, 1, What am I doing, in Livingston County Jail? What am I doing in Livingston County Jail when I lived in Monroe County for 9 years? 2, Sandra Doorley, what's on that piece of paper? And you'll refuse. It's a public proceeding. He didn't say one word, just like your female. And then they repaired back to your Monroe County District Attorney's Office, went back to work and didn't give it any thought whatsoever. Because my civil and constitutional rights are irrelevant. It doesn't matter. I don't exist. I don't count. How many other instances this has happened to in Monroe County? This happens all the time. Every time Penfield Town Court is in session, this is what happens. What's his name, Sandra Doorley? You know his name. So Sandra Doorley, this is what you need to do, you pathetic diva. Call him into your office immediately and ask him about my appearance in Penfield Town Court before John P. Lomenzo Jr. And then call this female prosecutor into your office. Call this 5'2", 3-piece suit boy into your office and ask him about my appearance before Paul C. Metzler. Then call this female employee into your office and ask her about my appearance for John P. Lomenzo Jr. So you got your 2 employees. Ask them why they didn't talk. That's the question. Ask your employees why they didn't talk. You know what the answer is? There is an answer. Because I didn't commit a crime, you pathetic diva. You refuse to comply with every one. You $91,000 Lee LaRoque can walk through this parking lot without being arrested. Why? Are you specially protected American? Do you have civil and constitutional rights that I don't have? You Lee LaRoque, I've said this over and over and over. These are your blue gloves that were in my residence because you were in my residence. This is not a search warrant. This is a pathetic piece of paper typed by bald-headed, wig-wearing Paula Metz from Penfield Town Court. She gave this to you. You contacted my landlords. They were in fear. You get in here and you exited with my Chromebook. What else did you find? You opened up the drawers to my father's dresser that he gave me from when he was a child in Brooklyn. This is the invasion of my life, this document by you, you disgusting hack. You took the papers I keep in folders next to me on my left, threw them all over the floor. My military uniform, my dress screens I haven't worn in 30 plus years were on the floor upstairs in the spare bedroom. You are consumed by hatred because you work for Hatred Incorporated. Hatred Incorporated is you, Sheriff Todd Baxter, and you, District Attorney Sandra Doorley. The confirmation that you are Hatred Incorporated is this nauseating concoction right here. This is not a search warrant. Any employees of the United States Department of Justice will reach that conclusion as well. Hatred Incorporated is these blue gloves right here. Right here. Hatred Incorporated. Hatred Incorporated is just 6 fanatics descending on me when I haven't committed a crime. Just from being outside for 30 seconds and walking back into my rents. Fire, shining light. Hatred Incorporated is Andrew Yalley charging me with harassment second when I'm not harassing anyone. I go to the now defunct PW Fitness. I'm at the back of the gym. Up walks to me Jermaine Bettman, the gym psychopath. He punches down. My head snaps back violently. Andrew Yalley arrives. We go out to the vehicle. He bizarrely tells me to wait in the backseat of your Monroe County Sheriff off from the vehicle. He walks Bettman around to the side of the vehicle. And with these 7 words, I'm charged with harassment second. The 7 words from Jermaine Bettman's mouth. I want to press charges against you. As I'm looking to my left, I'm charged with harassment second, sitting in the back seat of your Monroe County Sheriff Office vehicle. This is Hatred Incorporated charging me, concocting harassment second for me. That's not harassment because I'm not harassing anyone. Hatred Incorporated, that is Todd Baxter. It's not criminal contempt for me to walk outside, stand right here, and say nobody owns that land. Hatred Incorporated, Todd Baxter. I'm not committing attempted assault on my back porch. Hatred Incorporated, Todd Baxter. On August 30th, Don Benedetto and 5 other employees were here from me. They parked on Penfield Road. I've said this repeatedly. There's no excuse for me when I contact the United States Department of Justice and you say, we didn't know he made these accusations. There are accusations, and every single syllable in those accusations is the truth, and this is it, and this is me always. This is the one that enrages me the most. That when you're out there waiting for me, you're walking around, the body camera shows that you walked onto the private property of my neighbor Don Benedetto. I come outside, I walk alongside of my residence. Here you come running at me. You're running at me. I'm walking along the side of these streets. I turn around, I run away. I run up my back porch. You grab my arm, I pull away the hammer. I just grab, goes up and run back into my residence. And then you went back to Jonestown, Baxter, and concocted a felony for me. I didn't swing a hammer at you. I've never swung a hammer at anyone. Don, pay attention. If I wanted to swing a hammer at you, I would have brought the hammer down on your fucking head, and you would have been unconscious right there in my backyard dirt, right next to the porch. Fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths coming to my residence, demand my little guy. I was able to adopt my little guy because I passed the background check. You bald-headed stooge. All I'm doing is walking my little guy, same way, every day, for 7 years. He has such love in his heart. I know everybody that owns a dog, loves a dog, and can tell the same boring dog stories. What's better than your boring dog stories? Because only you know that they warm your heart. That's all that counts. Doesn't matter if not a single human being on planet Earth acknowledges or recognizes your dog stories. Because they're your stories, they belong to you. They belong to your heart. They're always with you. Just like your dog is always with you. This is why people love their dogs. People will drive home tomorrow, tens of millions of Americans, and they'll be thinking, I can hardly wait to see my dog. Because the dog is going to greet you with such joy. And your dog will greet you in different ways and behave in different ways. Sometimes when I would come in the door, I would stand there if I'm reading the mail, and he would run up to me and he would run around me. I'm there reading the mail. Like if I had a card from my mom and dad or a bill, and I'm reading the mail, and there he is running around in circles at my feet. And I would look down at him. I say, I missed you too. So you're coming to my house, one phone call from these psychopaths. Neeraj and Layla Kumar Shah, 4,000 times. The back window from this shack, Shah Law Firm, flies open. They don't exit their residence and give me the title to the property and say they own that land. Do you know why, Todd Baxter? Do you know why I don't get a title from these parasites, Neeraj and Layla Kumar Shah, that you have unleashed upon me, Sheriff Todd Baxter? You know why Layla Kumar and Neeraj Shah don't give me a title? Because this, you bald-headed stooge, you bald-headed criminal, you bald-headed degenerate, is not a title. And since this is not a title, and since Timothy Murphy, the Monroe County Office of Real Property, can't confirm it, these whack jobs own nothing. And since these whack jobs own nothing, these whack jobs also don't own this land next to my residence. And for me to come outside and say nobody owns this land, that's not a crime. And fire Shannon Meyer and her $67,000 ass and your 6 other whack jobs that are here. No one owns this land. You could look at it and see no one owns this land. So here you are. They're screaming my name. 4,000 times I walked on my land that has no ownership. An hour later, here you are. There's a pounding on my door. I'm so familiar. Tell your psychopaths to knock on the door in a civil way or ring the doorbell. Why do you pound on doors like that? Why? Because you tell them to. That's why. You tell them to act like animals like that. Because you're an animal. So, what are you doing here? Why don't you just pick up the phone? Because you want to exercise power. That's why this is why people hate the police. This is why people hate the police. This is why Americans hate the police. This is why law-abiding citizens hate the police, because of your fanatics that are showing up here. There they are in this vicious confrontation after demanding my dog. And I said, you'll have to kill me to take my little guy. And I slammed the door in their faces. I walked over to his dog bed. My mom and dad got him. I picked him up and put him over his shoulder, and he was shaking because of the confrontation. So, what I want to know, Todd, Who was it? This is where there's no accountability for you. It's not every day that employees in the Monroe County Sheriff's Office show up to the home of an innocent citizen to demand his dog. Or is that a daily occurrence? I'll guess that it's not. So who was it, Todd? Because I believe I know who it was. Was it these guys here? Was it these whack jobs, the twins? Did the twins employed by Sheriff Todd Baxter show up to my residence at 26 Sanders Farm Drive and demand my little guy, Boom Boom, named after former WBA lightweight champion Ray Mancini, because he's a champion? So tell your whack jobs, the twins, not to go to anybody else's house and demand a dog. Do you understand me about your employees, the twins, at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? And Todd, are you wearing these shades here at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? Are these your favorite shades here? Because that's quite a get-up, that your employees have. And I have a picture of your get-up here, Todd, because I'm concerned about your official dress uniform that I've showed you before, because here you are here. Here's your official dress uniform. I'm really concerned about this, Todd, because you got the official symbol of the sheriff's office here, but you don't know how to dress yourself here, because you got your belt up here high above your belly button, and then you got this strap going across your chest, and it hooks on to this belt up in your belly button, and you got this medal here you designed. I don't quite get that, and you're wearing your brown uniform here, and you got your fist up in the air, and you're screaming in your original language of German. So what's going on, Todd? So Todd, when did you learn to speak English? I mean, do you have when you get confused during the day and you want to revert back to your original language of German, do you have to pick up your English to German and German to English dictionaries and look at them and compare and contrast your dictionaries so you can get the language right, so you can speak English because German's your first language? So let me know how that's going, Todd. Because I'm also concerned about these employees, at the sheriff's office, like this guy here, Monroe County Sheriff Office employee Heinrich Himmler. And again, he's got this strap going again with the strap going across, and he's got this white shade on his lapel going here. I mean, this guy's a real freak show here, your employee. And he's got this big hat on his head. It looks like he's got like a skull and bones, another fake decoration here. But the brown shirt, that's the official shirt of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. So, and then I'm concerned about Monroe County Sheriff's Office employee Heinrich Himmler and his glasses here, because he doesn't even have a pair of frames here. The frames usually go and hook on around your ear, and he just Monroe County Sheriff's Office employee Heinrich Himmler, he just put his glasses on the bridge of his nose. So you need to counsel him, and he's got the official mustache here, the 2-inch mustache below the nose here. So he's got a lot going on here, this horror show. Monroe County Sheriff's Office employee. Just like this guy here. You need to get the shit out of this guy. You, Michael Radler, you need to take this guy out behind the back of 130 South Plymouth Avenue and kick the shit out of him right away. This is Monroe County Sheriff's Office employee Joseph Goebbels. You see, now look how innocent he looks here with his hands folded here. And his little watch. And it's, the official armband of the sheriff's office here. So I don't quite get this. He's got this, nerd apocalypse now face going here for his official portrait. So I don't quite get that. I almost didn't laugh. A little levity now and then helps. So you've received the Freedom of Information Law at the district attorney's office, the sheriff's office, and you're going to continue to refuse. Sheriff Todd Baxter, your repulsive, disgusting, sickening descent on my life with this concoction of crimes. I have never heard Miranda versus Arizona. Why is that? Do you understand the Miranda right? Why have I never heard it? So I'm going to tell the Department of Justice. I'll be back on here on YouTube soon. I'm going to talk only about Miranda as it applies to your office, because if I haven't heard Miranda, then you're descending on other innocent citizens, and other innocent citizens are being deposited in jail in courts around Monroe County without hearing Miranda. District Attorney Sandra Doorley, Sheriff Todd Baxter. My name is Christopher Chichester. I have never committed a crime.